Today we're gonna cover MTM. Today's class is gonna be covered by Kanchan. She's gonna walk you around for maybe an hour or so in MTM, Microsoft Test Manager. And after the class, she will open the floor for questions. You can ask her any questions. Um, and then I don't know if she said that she might be able to do a face-to-face session next weekend sometime in the morning. If you all can come here, then she can actually show you a live project for MTM also. So that way she can show you a little bit more if you guys are interested. But I'll leave that to her for to ask you guys and then coordinate the time with everything. So I guess let's go ahead and get started.
Hi everyone. We are going to use Microsoft Test Manager, which is the testing tool provided by by Microsoft. They use Visual Studio Suite, which has tool for development, and same area in that tool is being used by testers as well. The tool which testers use for manual testing is Microsoft Test Manager, which is open over here on the screen, and they use the automation tool with same package, which is coded UI test. We are not going to get into that. We are not going to concentrate more on automation. We focus on manual testing. So basically, this is the tool, and this is the icon. This is how it looks like. Okay, and so what first page you will get over here when you try to connect your test manager is gonna be this page. So let me go back home. And so this is how it will look when you open it for the first time. And in that you will see basically when you start working in your project, you will automatically get these things, that is your project name and the server which is being used. If you don't have, ask your admin to get it done for you. They'll come and install, not install, but give you the server name. That way you can connect to your project and to your server and add your test suite. So I have added bunch of these test suites. These are called test suites. So whenever I'll select any of the test suites, let's say test project, and hit connect button, it will connect me to that test suite. So now this test suite is having sample test plan. Once I select this plan, it will open test plan for me. So now what I have done, I have already added. How does it work in TFS? Let me show you the workflow in TFS. I can find. Actually, I would have been more comfortable if I have been using my own work machine, because I have everything together over there. But anyways, let me look here if I can find something to show you the Scrum template, how it works. Okay, so in Scrum template, these are the items which you have. One is product backlog item, which will consist of stories. Stories, as in this case, you can say are the requirements, wherein user will give you some functional requirements and will ask you to ask developers and testers to work on that. So this product backlog item gets converted, or it's also being called as stories. After that, bugs, bugs is the another product backlog item. It's another work item type, and where testers test and log the defects. Task. Now, what is task? Task is something which is being branched under stories by testers and developers to define. Shikhar, can you mute? I can hear echo from your machine. Or can you put earphones, please? Hold on, please. Sorry, guys. Uh, yeah, so task is something which is being task in a sense if you have a user story and you want to divide or uh, break your work, then you can break it in form of task. Impediment in Scrum is something uh, which if you have any issues, let's say for machine or for your work, it's kind of showstopper for anybody's work. It could be a developer or tester. In test cases, again, it's being used by a testing team to write the scripts, manual scripts. Now, mostly what we will, as a testers, use is this bugs and test case. These are widely used by testers. Other three, we should know what are they, and we will be interacting with them. These uh, product backlog types, but we won't be using work item types, but we won't be using them as much as we use bugs and test cases. So that's what mostly test manager provides you. Now coming back to test manager, and before we go there, let me show you what is the test case cycle or uh, in TFS. We are talking about this too. So we'll focus about, I mean, you can, there could be various ways to have the workflow of the test case. But since we picked the Visual Studio, I'll just show you the workflow of Visual Studio tool for the test cases. So this is your workflow, or you can say test case stage diagram. What usually tester will do whenever you get your task or whenever you get your story, you will go through the story. Story for me over there is getting required. It's kind of requirements which talks about requirements. So once you have requirements, of course you start writing your test case. Let's say they gave me I'll take a simple example of Google or Yahoo or Gmail. Let's take Gmail. Uh, for example, use the client gave you requirement or your company gave you requirement of test Google page for me um, and check whether you are able to log in or not. This is the requirement, and there will be a bunch of other things. So I'll keep it simple and say, okay, user gave you requirement that test Google sign in for me. So what you will do, you will go to your machine, you will think about different scenarios. Okay, what I can test is I can put correct user, correct password name. In that process, you need to ask question also. Okay, how do you want? Do you want your username and password to be alphanumerical, or you want to use characters, or you want to use what should be the length of the username, what should be the length of the password, should it be encrypted? These kind of questions you'll ask to the uh, uh, to, whosoever is giving you the name client or whosoever is giving you the requirement. You need to go and ask them. So once you gather all the requirements, you start writing a test case. For example, you said, okay, what should be the username? They should say, okay, in username you can only use alphanumerical things, and in password you can use anything, and password should be encrypted. And whatever questions you have, you can ask them and get it cleared that what are the clear requirements. Once you have clear requirements, you come back to writing test cases. In writing test cases, you will create scenarios. Okay, let me create one scenario where I am using correct username, correct password. Second scenario will be wrong username, correct password. Third test case will be uh, wrong username and correct password, and fourth case will be both will be wrong. Fifth case could be both are blank, and sixth case will be uh, you are putting correct alphanumerical username, but you are putting you are putting incorrect username, which is having uh, other than alphanumerical characters, and you're putting correct password. So there are various bunch of combinations where that depends on how creative person is. Test cases are basically coming out of creativity of a person and of course experience. So for example, you have designed 7 or 8 test cases on the requirement which I gave you. So what you will do, you will first design your test cases. Once it's designed, you will assign the test cases to the product owner. That depends on company to company, but I'm just telling you the workflow, how it works. So now you have designed your test cases and now they are ready for testing. Once you are done testing, or when it's ready, you can still send it back to update the test case. For example, you wrote a test case where you are testing Gmail and you said, okay, I wrote a test case where I am putting any other character other than alphanumerical. Let's say you are using exclamation mark in your test case, and your uh, domain expert or SME said, no, I'm removing that requirement, I'm changing it. It should allow me illegal characters as well. So now you'll go back and update your test case. This is what that flow is showing. That is, any change in requirement over here will move back the test case to design state, and you'll have to correct your test case based on changed requirement, and then you will push back again to completed and ready state. Okay, once it's ready over here, you will uh, uh, send it over here to close if it's absolute. That is, if the requirement has been removed or that uh, thing is no longer valid. In that case, you will move that to, or that functionality you want to test in future. In that case, you will move this back to deferred. There could be two more things. Either you want to reactivate directly, since in future that requirement came back and the test case is valid, so you will move that back to ready. If in case you want to reconsider that test case, you will then move it to back to design state. So it is this scenario is covering here this flow. And again, from design state also, if you think that okay, this story was called off, I mean, we are not going to do that story anymore. In that case, you can on your own throw it back to close. Okay, now I'll show you how these states work. Don't worry much about this flow. I just wanted to give you idea of how this workflow works. So now coming back to bugs, since we are at this page, let me show you bugs workflow as well. And if you are going to work in any project which is using test manager, you definitely need to and are using agile template, which most of the companies are doing these days. So you need to know this workflow. Let me open the bug workflow. Okay. And every methodology has their own template. If you see CMMI, that will be different from, I hope Shekhar told you about Scrum and everything. If not, you can ask him later. Uh, uh, yeah, every methodology has their own template. Template as in how project will work, what will be the workflow of handling particular thing. I showed you about test case, now coming to bugs. Now, for example, I have test case for Gmail, as we are taking Gmail as an example. So I entered correct username, I entered incorrect password, and it allowed me to sign in. In that case, that's a bug. That is, it's allowing me to enter into Gmail account with incorrect password. So what I will do, I will log that as a bug. I'll say, okay, it's allowing me to enter the incorrect password and it's allowing me to sign in. So I'll log that as a bug, and that defect will be a new defect. Then once you have logged the defect, you will send that defect to product owner for approval. He will look into the bug. Okay, this is what bug is. If he wants, he can remove that bug, saying that okay, no, that is what I am expecting in my functionality. So in that case, he will go ahead and remove that bug. If he's fine with the bug, he says, okay, yeah, that's a bug, that's a defect. It should never allow me to sign in when I'm using incorrect password. In that case, it will move that bug to committed state. Committed state means it's sending to developer to fix that bug. Okay. Once the developer starts working, fixing that bug or changing their code, they will send back within this state only. They will move the bug to testers in committed state only. They will not change the state. So testers and developers are working in committed state for the bug. The only thing which is changing is assigned to. That is, they are tossing that bug between each other. So once they are done fixing that bug, they will toss it back to testers. Testers will retest that bug. Once they are retesting bug and there will be two cases. Either they'll say, okay, it's fixed or it's not fixed. So in that case, if it's fixed, tester will go ahead and mark that as done. If it's not fixed, they will keep the bug in committed state only, but they will toss back to developers. That is, they will change the assigned to option and will put developer's name and throw bug back to developer saying that, okay, it's yet not fixed. It still needs to be fixed or whatever the other issue is. Okay, now looking at the reverse flow, coming back over here, you log a bug, you assign to the, I covered this to the domain expert. Okay, over here, you assign the bug and you will remove the bug since it will go to your product backlog item. Okay, and you are thinking, okay, maybe this needs to be worked after 1 year. So sometimes projects are too big. Usually at that time you will use this. Or when you try to create a bug and meanwhile you are assigning it to developer, you saw, okay, it's already being fixed, because sometimes the workflow is so fast that bug which you saw few days back, you will not see it again. Maybe because of some code change, it's already fixed. In that case, you go ahead and remove that bug. Okay, and it could also happen that you have removed some bug and after a few months it's coming back. So in that case, you will cover this flow that is removed bug is being opened again. Now coming over here, you gave the new bug to the product owner approved it and it's committed. And now developer is working on it, and all of a sudden he heard, okay, we don't need to work on this uh, requirement because requirement has changed. A lot of time requirements change very frequently, so that's why we have this flow. So that time they will send it back to product owner saying that, okay, keep it with you whenever you have requirements ready. Whenever you want me to work, you assign it back to me. Okay, and this flow is that once the developer is done fixing the bugs, testers will test it and move it to done state. And if it's not, and if it's done, and you are seeing that again, that it's happening again in future, then you will reopen that bug and you will move this from done to committed. And all this I'll show you in a test manager how we are going to do that. So coming back to test manager, but I just wanted to give you the idea of workflow, how it's working. So now we talked about this, that you will have a test plan, and in test plan you will have your test suite. Test suite can be created in 3 different ways. One is adding the requirement. It's like having folder within a folder. If I say add requirement, it will give me option. Hold on, let me do this. So if you say select your test plan, that is test plan thing in this case, and I say new suite. So see, it created new suite, that is folder within a folder kind of thing. So this is how you can create your test suite. The other way to create your test suite is add requirements. Now I don't think so we have any requirements. Okay, we do have some requirements. So I'll select Whenever you say create requirement, it will take you to this query. Then you hit run on this very query, and also you can change your query. I'll tell you later how to change your query. So you will hit run, and run will give you whatever are the existing requirements based on what you have queried. So I'll say okay, Gmail login, and say add requirement to plan. So it will add your requirement to plan. And the third way to do this is, let us copy some other existing test suite which is we don't have it over here. But if you see, when I'm hovering over that icon, little icon, gives me the option to create suite by referring existing test case. In this case, you will use the existing test cases. So now coming back to my original test suite, that is Gmail login. So these are the test cases which are already there in Gmail. So let me pick, if I double click on this, I can open the test case. So these are all my steps, but I'll walk you through how we are creating steps. I'll take a simple uh, uh, Gmail positive test case, that is correct username, correct password, login. So I'll say close this and show you what I did. Now I selected this test plan and I want to add my test case. Okay, I selected Gmail login 5 and I'm saying okay, create new test case, hit on that new button and then put a suitable title, that is test login in Gmail with correct username, correct password. Okay, so this is the title of my test. Um, this is the title of my test case. Now I can select iteration. Okay, again in projects usually you cannot say okay, I'll complete my project in 1 year. You will have to define, every project defines the deadline. Deadlines are defined in form of having different releases, and within releases they will have different sprints. Again, it depends on project to project, company to company, what iterations they are using. Instead of saying release one sprint 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, they can say Jan, Feb, March, April, whatever. It depends on company what iterations they want to use. In this case, we are taking example of release, that is release 1 will have 5 sprints and one sprint could be of 15 days, 3 weeks or 4 weeks. So I can select any iteration, whichever. You don't have to worry about this. It's just selection. You have to select in which iteration you are, and this is already all these addition of the iterations are done by admin. Then what you will do, you will assign this test case to the domain expert or SME. So SME are the people who are specialized in that product and they write the requirements. So you'll assign the test case to the SME, and then these are the states which I was talking about. Remember, I showed you test case has 3 states. So these are the states. One, I'll keep this in design state. Once I save the design state, it should show me the other 2 states as well. Save button. Okay. So now once it's saved, it showed me closed and ready button, which I showed you in workflow of the test cases. So now you will keep it in design stage. You will give the priority, how important the test case is, and automation state is, are you planning to automate this test case in future? It depends again. If yes, you will say plan. If not, you will say, oh, I don't want to automate this because I'm not going to use this test case every time. I'll just execute this test case once and again. Of course, you don't want to automate the test cases which you are not going to use more frequently. So depending on test case, you will say planned or not planned. Again, test area is already being defined by the project. All you need to do is just select from this drop down. Now coming back to steps, action are the steps which you're gonna where you will write what actions you will take and what are the expected results of that action. So first action I will take in order to test my login for Gmail account for correct user and correct password will be okay. Whatever browser you are using. I'll take an example of IE. You will say open IE, that is Internet Explorer, enter URL for Gmail, and nice way to write is to give as much as information as possible. Let's say for example, put the URL over here, that is Gmail or whatever it is based on which URL you are using. Let us log into Gmail using gmail.com, or it will be good if you can provide entire thing HTTP all that stuff. After that, when you are putting the Gmail URL, you expect that should open Gmail Gmail homepage or whatever homepage. Then and also you can write whenever you're opening the Gmail should also show text box for user name and password. Okay, now you will say enter user name. Expected result will be because it should allow to edit username. Then you will say enter. Then no, not enter. You will say tab or go to password text box. That means you're defining every step. Over here also, in fact, I can say insert step, go to password text box. And again, writing test case is individual's creativity. How clean and neatly you can write your test. Once you go there, you will say enter, and not necessarily you need to write expected behavior of each and every step. But yeah, it's a good practice to write as much as you can. Enter password, or rather I should say enter correct password and correct username. Correct password, enter, let me correct it over here. Enter correct username. Okay, so again, this expected behavior is same. Copy and paste over here. Okay, then we will say click on sign in button. Okay, now this is the main expected behavior, that it should allow me to sign in my Gmail or whatever, not my, should allow me to sign in Gmail account. Okay. And in that, you can check a lot of things, depending on your requirement. Okay, when I'm logging into Gmail, it did allow me to get into my account, but there are a lot of things. I can check whether it's giving my name in that corner or whether it's having drop down and it's showing all the options, whether it has inbox, draft, spam, or whatever options we get in left hand side in Gmail. Okay, let's do it when executing the test case. I can show you what could be the other expected behaviors. You can write whatever you want. For now, I'll see. Then you will say sign out Gmail account. Not sign out. Then we'll have to click on sign out button. Then expected behavior you should close your Gmail account and sign out from that account. To complete the test case, you can also say close the IE browser. Why we are writing these minute test steps? Because it helps in automation. If you want to automate this test case, then it is a big help. So I have created this test case and my test case number is 15. This is my title. This is what we are testing. These are my steps. Now I have saved this test case. Now I'll close this test case. Now let me talk a little more over here about these modules. This is same as QC. In QC also you have test, plan, track, organize, all these modules. So now plan. In plan module you can only write your test cases. You cannot execute your test cases. In plan it will give you contents, that is what are the contents of the test suite or test plan. Results will produce, see it's showing me how many test cases I have. I have 11 active test cases, out of which 2 have failed and 1 has passed. So and it also gives me graphical representation of those test cases. So for managers it's easy, or for leads it's easy to check what's going on in my project. They can just go into results and check, okay, there are these many test cases, these are failing, these are passing, why are they failing, why are they, or there are few blocked test cases also. If I go ahead and block some of the test cases, it will put one more uh, bar over here saying blocked. So for managers or for test suite, it's easy to see the results. Properties will give you more information about that test plan. That is test plan. It will give you name. You can have description in which area it was, what was the iteration, what was the start date of that test plan, what was the end date, whether now it's an active or inactive test plan. Most of the time test plans will be active. You will make them inactive when you will see, okay, nothing is required from that test plan. That's when you'll go ahead and make that test plan as inactive. Once you make that test plan as an inactive, you are not going to work on that plan. That means it's sitting just there as a placeholder, and it's not, you cannot do anything on that. Again, it will tell you how many manual runs you have done on the test plan. You can select the settings, that is test setting, where you wanna execute on demo machines, you wanna execute on virtual machines, or you wanna test on your local test runs. You can define your test runs. And then test environment is again same. What kind of environment you want? It could be you want to test on Internet Explorer, Windows 7. You want a run on Firefox with Windows XP. So you can have various combinations because testers have to test in various environments. If I'm doing web testing, I'll have to test on pretty much all browsers so that I can check web it's giving me because depends every user will use different browsers. So as a tester, if we are doing web application, we definitely want to test it on different browsers. And if it's a desktop application, you want to make sure that it's working on different uh, versions of Windows or whatever version your requirements use. So this is how you will create your test requirement. Again, same for automation runs. You will create your test settings and test environment. And if you hit manage, it will allow you to create the test environment. I'm not going to get into that, but yeah, this is how you can manage your test environments. And also, this will give you build information in which build this test case was being executed. So it's easy to track. Okay, if you have any defects, it's easy to track which build you had been using to execute the test cases in case it fails. Now coming to module. Test module has all these different options. I'll keep it uh, short and small because you're already running out of time. So in test run, basically what you do, you will execute your test cases. In execution, while you're executing the test cases, all your test cases first will be in your active mode. Then once you are done executing the test cases, depending on pass and fail, it will categorize further that active test case to either pass or fail and will get removed from active stage because you have already executed that. I'll show you how to execute a test case in a bit. Then analyze test runs. It will give you the again it will give you the result of all the test runs you have done on particular test case. Now what is exploratory testing? A lot of time and most of the bugs in testing world are being found in the exploratory testing. For example, I don't know, I'm not sure what needs to be tested. What I'll do, I'll go ahead and start doing exploratory testing. Exploratory testing is you will not have any test case. You will just keep on hitting here and there in the application. And that's not necessarily you need a test case. You can also do that without having a test case since you are doing that um, on that in that movement, whatever comes in your mind, okay, hit there, and definitely you're gonna find most of your bugs when you are doing your exploratory testing. And this will give you exploratory sessions. What in which session, how long the session of which build it was, who was the owner, and what was the work item tested, and it will give you more information about the test scenario for the exploratory bugs. Oh, sorry, test case. Now for bugs, it will give you a list of all the bugs associated with that test suite. Now coming back to track. Track first query. Query is again a uh, different topic, I should say. But you should know how to query your test cases, your bugs, or any work item type. So what usually we are doing in query is I'm writing the query whatever I want. For example, I'll put my work item type, my project name, then what work item type I want. I say insert clause, but it's kind of a comparator. Okay, if this is this, this is that, give me this. It's if else kind of thing, and you can get whatever you want. Since I don't have a lot of items, I cannot show you. But if whenever we do in-person session, I can show you on my own work machine that how queries work. So now assign build is uh, again used for tracking purpose to which build we have assigned which test suite. For example, I will say, okay, in this build, in current build, I want to test my test plan 1, 2, 3. Then this is how I will categorize over here. Recommended tests are something which you want to execute again and again, and you will kind of categorize or prepare a small list of recommended tests. That is what you want to execute. Okay, if if this functionality is affected, I need to test these test cases. So you can do your recommendations over there. Again, organize. Organize is again usually mostly used by test leads or test managers, where they will organize their test plans, how are they going to be activated, what will be the start date, what will be the end date. And test configuration manager is again same, which I showed you on the test plan first page. That was you wanna, for example, you want over here you have selected my environment as Windows 8, or I can add new environment and say, okay, I want to test same test suite in Windows XP or something like that, and give all the description and add what all I want to test. So for now, I'll say in proceed added which environment I want to test. And then test case manager. Test case manager is again being used. Pretty much we are doing same thing in different ways, but it when people who want to see reports or who want to manage these are easy access for them to filter their test cases and execution. Now shared step. What is shared step? This is a good and important topic, and a lot of time you get interview questions that what is shared step. So what is shared step? Now, for example, shared step will create a test case, and that test case should be of a type where the actions which are being done repetitively for all the test cases. For example, now user gave you requirement. Again, I'm taking Gmail as an example. They gave you a requirement saying that okay, after signing in your Gmail account, test inbox is working correctly for me, send items are working correctly for me, draft folder is working correctly for me, and spam folder is working correctly for me. Let's stick to these four things. So now in four things, in order to check four things, what is common thing you are doing? That is signing in. That is logging into your Gmail account. That is go to OpenIE, open URL, enter correct username, enter correct password, and hit sign in. These are the steps which you will repetitively do in order to test these four scenarios. That is test inbox, draft, delete, and spam. So instead of writing those steps again and again and again to test those particular scenarios, what you will do, you will create a shared step and you will write those 5 steps, that is, and enter your URL, Gmail, IE URL, username, password, sign in button. You will create a shared step of these shared test case for these steps, and you will every time use this shared step in order to test your Gmail inbox. So now what you will do, you will just call this shared step, and you don't have to write those steps again and again and again. So basically you are using common steps which are being used every time, and you will create a test case for that and you will use that test case. So this is what shared step does. So I told you what is shared step and I gave you example as well. And if you have questions, you can ask me. So now in Microsoft Test Manager, the most important things places which you will be working on is plan, content thing, and the other will be test, that is run test. That is creating your test cases in contents test plan and executing your test cases in your run test thing. So now I already showed you how to create the test case. Now let's try to execute the test case. Once I go into the test module and run test, so I select this, and what was the test case we created? So this one was the test case which we created. Now I'll select that test case and hit run button. In that case, it will run this test case for me. Or I can select multiple test cases using shift key and run all the test cases one after the other. But I'll stick to one for now. That is this one which we created little while ago. I'll select that test case number 15 and I'll hit run button. And I'll say you can do recording also. If you say create action recording, it will record whatever steps you are taking. So for now, I'll just stick to start test. So it will give you testing session is started. Your action will be recorded. So now what I'll do, I'll first say, okay, what is saying open I. So I'm doing whatever the steps is. I'll take that action and say open Internet Explorer. I have opened Internet Explorer and it opened successfully. So I'll say okay, pass. If I click directly on this button, it will pass. Or you have drop down also, you can select it from here also and here also. So I'll say I'll pass this step. Now go to, it will automatically go to next step. Now what it's saying, it's asking me to enter URL for Gmail. I'll go over here and say gmail.com. So what is should open Gmail homepage should also show text box for username and password. Okay. So this is not correct. So I should correct my test case and say it's sign in. That's when it will show me the username and password. For now, let's consider this is what it is and it passed. Or we can fail it. That's a very good example to show. So what I'm saying, okay, enter Gmail URL and I'm expecting to show me the username and password. And when I see over here, I cannot see my username and password. So that means that is a bug in actual scenario. Even though we are missing steps, I'll consider that this as good test case and this as bad design or code or development. So what I'll do, I'll fail this test. So why I failed this test case? Because as per test case and this step, I should be able to see username and password, which I'm not able to see. So I'll say username and password text box is missing. Okay. Now I have failed this test case. Now, of course, something which is failing, that means that's a defect. Now what I need to do, I need to create a bug. So in order to create a bug, there is see little icon over here. If you select the drop down over here, it will ask you to create a new bug or you can update the existing bug. In this case, I'll select create new bug. But before I select the create new bug, let me show you one more thing. That is this capture screenshot, rectangular screenshot or full screenshot. Since you are not able to see the username and password and you want to support your bug with the screenshot, you can say okay, capture rectangular screenshot. It will give you small this thing cursed kind of a thing. If you drag, right click, drag and drop, it will allow you to select that area. Once I have done released that, see it took screenshot for me over here. Or you can put full view screenshot as well. Once I select that, see it added both these screenshots to my bug. Now, since I have both these screenshots, what I'll do, I'll go ahead and say create a bug on this failure or on this defect. So now what it did, it automatically entered all your steps which you had in your test case. See over here, and whatever was passed, he passed it, and whatever failed, he says failed, and whatever are not yet being executed, it will give you none. And see, it gives you the action, it gives you the expected result, and it gives you the comments which you have added, and also the attachments which you attach to the bug. So basically, Test Manager is tool which is helping you to do all these things by saving your time. Otherwise, if it would have not been doing that, what you had to do, okay, go back to plan, create a bug, write all these steps, and give information to the developers that what this where it failed. But wherein in this case, it's automatically giving you all the information over here. So you are saving your time in typing all these things. Also, it automatically gives you the diagnostic data adapter, which gives lot of information to the developers to fix the bug. And there also we are again saving time of the developer. Also, it will give you the system information. Okay, what was the system, which browser operating system was used, what was the version of the operating system, and what was the physical memory being used. All these informations a lot of times are useful for the developers to fix any bug. Also, it gives you, as I said, the action log, which is again helpful for the developers. The action log gives you this information. What were the actions taken on the you don't have to worry about this. This is mostly for developers. Okay, so I close that action log. And the other thing is systems. I told you the test case. It will automatically link to the test case. See over here, if you see, it's automatically attached to this bug. Is automatically attached to the test case. And task, it will show you if any task you have. You can link that task to this bug. Now acceptance criteria. Usually what happens, these are my steps, and now I want to put acceptance criteria. Acceptance criteria will be what should be the fix or what is the expected behavior. Now I will put that uh, there should have or you can say username and password text box is missing. Okay, and so this is your acceptance criteria, that if I will have the username and password text box on this step, then and then only I'll pass the bug, or then and then only I can close the bug. This will give you history of what has been done to the bug. And if you want to link anything, any product backlog item or any type of link, you can use this. And this link is normal, the way we browse the files or folders in any attachment kind of a thing. And again, attachment tab gives you privilege if you want to attach more information or add more information to the bug. So now this is the lower part. Now coming back to the upper portion, what are the things required for you to, in order to create a bug, is just enter the title. Now what should be the title? Username. I can copy this and paste it. What is the bug over here? That username and password text box is missing. What will be again iteration based on which release you tested. Assigned to will be, let's say in this case, Shaheen is my developer, so I'll assign that to developer. And from new, this, see in new it's not showing me anything. As soon as I save, same as in test case also, as soon as we save, it gave me other states. Over here also, as soon as I save, it will give me other states. Now I will say in new state, I will assign it to domain expert. Let's say Shaheen is my domain expert in this case, so I'll assign it to her. Now what she will do, she will review this. Okay, she will say, yeah, that's a bug. Then she will go ahead and approve this. Do you recall that cycle? We are doing that same workflow cycle over here, which is this. See, where is that? This is for test case. Okay, see new and approved. Now after approved, let's save it again. I'll assign it to, now product owner will check, okay, he says yes, that's a bug. He will say approve, and after approving he will assign it to a developer. Let's say Rahul is developer in this case. So he approved and assigned it to Rahul. Now it went to developer. Now developer is looking into this bug and he says, yes, I have to fix that. Then he will commit to that bug and he'll keep it to himself and start working on the bug. Once he is done fixing the bug that is making the code change, what he will do, he will keep this in committed state, that is this state, and assign it back to tester. Let's say Dimple is tester in this case. So he'll assign this to Dimple to test this, and now it's in Dimple's bucket. She'll go and check, okay, I have this bug, now I have to test it. She'll keep this in committed state and she'll test this. Okay, there will be again two scenarios. One, she's saying, no, it's still failing, it's showing me incorrect, it's still not giving me text box for, it's giving me text box for username but not password. So what she will do, she will assign it back to the developer, that is Rahul, and she'll put her comments over here. Okay, she'll put comments that it's still not fixed, showing only user name text box, password text box is still missing. Okay, and she'll assign it back to the um, developer. Now developers say, okay, this bug is again back to me. Okay, I forgot to fix the password text box. He'll go ahead and fix that. And once he's done fixing that, he'll assign it back to Dimple, or he might put some comment or something that, okay, it's been fixed. It's up to again the developer. Now Dimple will come see, okay, this bug is again back to her. She'll go and test. Now she says, okay, I can see both the things now. So what she'll do, she will go ahead and mark this as done. So this is where bug life cycle ends. Not all the time you can again reopen done to me, but usually this is the normal workflow of the bug. Now I'll say save and close this bug. So now coming back to our testing, you have created the bug. Now you go over here and execute further test cases or test steps. That is fine. Okay. So now let's say this step passed for now, and I'll continue my testing. Okay. So now I'll put my username, put my password. So, and I should actually go by steps. Let me do it again. So now what it's saying, I'll go to this step number 3. Go to, it should be username, and you can edit your test case over here. If you hit edit, it will allow you to edit your test case. It should be username. Okay. Save and close. Okay. Only thing over here, if you're editing a test case, it will not immediately show you over here. It will show you in next cycle. So I'll go over here and enter, go to text box. It's saying Kevin and pass this. Now it's saying enter your username. So I'll say enter my username, and so expected results should allow to edit username, and which it did. So I'll pass this, then I'll go to next step. It says tab or go to password text box. I'll tab or use mouse click to go there, and it allows me to go there. So I'll pass this. Then for next step, it says enter correct password. I'll say correct password. So it allows me to edit the password. I'll pass this again. and it's saying now click on sign in button. I did, and it says should allow me to sign into Gmail account. Let's wait and see whether it passed. Yes, it did. It passed. It allowed me to enter into Gmail account. Now, as I was saying, the expected result could be I can put 10 or 15, maybe more than that, expected things. I can check, okay, one, it should allow me to enter into Gmail account. Second, it should give me this Google icon. Third, it should give me Gmail and it should give me drop down, all these drop downs over here. Fourth thing, it should give me compose. It should give me all these feeds. It should give me chat window. It should show me more options drop down. It should give me refresh option. It should give me page numbers. Should show me these uh, two paging options that is going to next page. It should again go show me the settings options and drop downs for those settings. It should show me this little symbol for the apps. And when I hover over here, it should give me, when I hover my mouse over here, it should give me entire uh, username ID. And when I click on this, it should give me all this information. It should give me uh, entire username, account, privacy, view profile option, add account, and sign out button. So there are so many things where I have written etc. You can write as many things as you want to validate on that page. So for now, I'll pass this. And again, it says click on sign out button. So I'll click on that. It should close the Gmail account and sign out from Gmail account, which it did. So I'll pass this. And now last step, it's saying close your browser. I'll close the browser and that happened successfully. And I'll pass this as well. So now I'm done with my testing. I'll say end test and I'll save and close this test. As soon as I close my test, it will take me back to my test manager. And the other thing which I was using to test that is called test runner. That small thing which came to the left side is called where you are testing the test cases. The tool is not the tool, but the thing, that thing is called test runner. Okay, so now it's showing in your failed category because this test case failed for us. If it would have been passed, it would have been in this category, that is your pass category. Okay, so this is the test case and I showed you how to log a bug from the test case. Also, while you're doing your exploratory testing, you can find bugs. In that case, you will enter your bug from here. You will say bug and it will give you an option. In that case, you will write your bug and see in this case, you have to write all your steps. Wherein when you are logging your bug from test case, it ready-madely gives you everything. But in this case, you have to manually fill in all these things. So not necessarily you will find all your bugs from your test cases. Few test cases will come from your exploratory testing also. In that case, you have to use this option. Okay, I guess yeah, I can stop over here. Uh, I gave you brief review or idea of how this tool works. But if you want to see more, or you want a live environment, or you want to see how we are using in virtual world, I can show you that as well. But for that, I need my own office machine, which I cannot connect it over here. So we have to do one-on-one. You guys are interested in seeing that. So I'll hand over this to Shekhar so that he can take over after this. Do you have any questions for me before I give it to Shekhar? You all are unmuted.
Can we use creating the test case in Excel and then upload it into this tool? Can we do that?
Yes, yes, you can do that. You need to have some add-ins for that.
Okay.
Tool doesn't give you an option to do that, but yeah, it does has some add-ins which you can use and plug in your Excel test cases to Test Manager. You can import and export both.
Okay.
Any more questions? That was a good question, by the way. Dimple.
Oh, thank you.
Any other questions?
No, not from my side.
Okay, all right. I guess I'll give it to Shekhar. Abhi said no. She doesn't have any.
Okay. So when can you do like
We can. I have off Friday tomorrow and next week.
Friday or Saturday?
Friday or Sunday.
Okay. If you all are interested to come for a live session where she can show you live project on her work machine, you can we can schedule a time either Friday morning or Saturday morning. Which day is good for all of you?
If they want to.
If they want to, I mean, it's not compulsory or required. It's an optional extra we we're offering. So if you all want, she can show it to you. Sunday also possible, yes.
No keeping no.
Oh, you said no for Sunday. Abhi. Is that a no for Sunday, or are you asking is Sunday possible?
He said Sunday no.
I'm good with
either,
Sunday.
Yeah,
I'm good
either
with
Friday
Sunday.
or Sunday in the morning, maybe around 10:30. Yeah, around 10:30.
On Friday,
Yeah, Friday, Saturday, or Sunday around 10:30 in the morning.
I'm good on Sunday. I don't know other people.
Okay. Dimple?
Because like,
Yeah, go ahead, Abhi.
no, it's okay. Because like I have to be at the motel,
Okay.
on Friday and
Okay,
Saturday.
that's fine. Okay, Dimple, I guess you have something going on Saturday, right? Saturday night, I guess.
Yeah, Saturday night.
So you won't be
Yeah.
able to do Sunday.
Friday or Sunday.
Will you be able to make Sunday? Because I guess you have a late program until late engagement till Saturday. Would you
Yeah,
still
but
be able to come?
yeah, go ahead.
So it's okay for you for Sunday, 10:30?
Yeah, Sunday is fine.
Okay. So Imran, then that leaves you only you. So if you can come on Sunday, 10:30, that will cover you also. If you cannot, then I guess what maybe we can do. Well, we cannot do a recording so for that session. So Imran, okay. I guess he's not. Okay. So I guess Sunday 10:30 is when we will have a live session. You need to come here. I will give you the address once you just call me, or I can text you the address. That's fine. Breakfast, yeah. Well, I mean, I can get donuts for all of you. In fact, you know what? I'll get donuts for all of you. Donuts and tea from me. So I'll have breakfast for you guys.
No tea, please. We don't need tea.
Coffee.
Okay, we'll make coffee for you.
Just your own.
No, we can make coffee.
Without
Okay, so
Feel
Sunday
free. I'll
10:30
bring
then.
something.
I'm sorry.
I'll bring something if you want me to. Let me know. I'll bring some
No,
collagen.
that's fine. I'll just get donuts and some maybe something. I'll get something for breakfast, I guess. So I'll get it. So yeah, Sunday 10:30. If you all still haven't had a chance to install Visual Studio, then do so. And I guess let me know if you have any issues with installation. Bring your machines if you want to troubleshoot. Maybe I can quickly troubleshoot it after the class, if possible. If not, we'll see how we can troubleshoot the machines. Other than that, I think at this point there's just a few more topics left. what we can do is we can do a session tomorrow at 7 in the evening. Tomorrow is Monday. So if all of you are okay with a session at 7 in the evening, I think we can get closer to wrapping up some of the topics remaining, and then we can start working on the resume and mock interviews. So, if any other questions at this point? Yeah. So fine. I guess I'll send the class for tomorrow 7, and then the next weekend Sunday 10:30 for the live session. All right. Thank you, guys.
Right. Bye.
Thank